If you believe you're a potato, you're a potato. Did you get me? Hello, beautiful people of this universe. Today's video we're going to be covering are affirmations a lie? So I've actually been wondering this myself, so I took it upon myself to do a lot of research on it, on a lot of articles, and I've read it in books about self-help, and they tend to always steer across the direction that it isn't, but it can be. So I began to get curious about it. So I've done my research, and if you want to find out what the articles I've used is on my description down below. Are affirmations a lie? The simple answer is yes and no. If I told you right now, look around wherever you are and look for the color red. Just for the color red. I want you to scan the whole room and just look for the color red. Now look back at me in the video and tell me how many things were red. And if you didn't count when you were scanning, I want you to go back and count just the color red. And now that you have a number, keep looking at the screen, and I want you to notice how many things in the room were yellow without looking. You didn't even notice the things that were yellow because your perception, your focus was on red. Therefore your reality became red. Yellow didn't exist, you were not perceiving it. That doesn't mean that yellow wasn't there, that just means you weren't perceiving it. Therefore your reality is what you focus on. That doesn't mean reality is your perception, but it is to you what you focus on. So if you believe in something, that will become who you believe yourself to be. But that doesn't mean that that is who you are. Do you understand that? You can believe that you're ugly. You can believe that with a core belief, but that you might not be ugly to somebody else, and that's their belief. Do you get me? Belief becomes what people perceive to be their reality. Are affirmations lies to yourself? Affirmations are not lies to yourself if you truly believe and feel that is your truth. They are lies on the other hand if you half-heartedly believe, or if you don't believe in the affirmations you are saying to yourself. If you don't believe, then you are lying to yourself, because you don't believe, you don't feel the emotions that you would feel if you truly believed it, therefore it doesn't work. The reason being is because you are essentially lying to yourself about who you really are, because reality of who you are is only what you believe it to be. What you believe is your truth right now. That's without question, but it doesn't mean that it necessarily is the truth. Somebody else might believe something else, and that's their truth. Your belief is just a perception of who you are. So if you believe you're a potato, you're a potato. Did you get me? You are what you believe you are. It doesn't mean that what you believe is necessarily what somebody else will believe. You might believe you're a potato, but somebody will look straight at you and be like, no, you're not a potato. Somebody can have a belief that reality is in itself one thing, and then they may create that reality because they believe in that reality, and that may go into law of attraction. Literally just because you got the mindset and you went after it. What we believe is who we are. That means that you might have been lying to yourself all along through a past experience you've had. Maybe somebody told you you're not pretty enough, and you've always believed this, and you've always felt like you've had to do more or try hard, and you've just never felt good enough because of that. It doesn't mean you're actually not pretty. That was their belief. Maybe they even lied to you, but that doesn't mean that's the reality. That doesn't mean it's your identity. You agreed and you thought maybe they have some validity to what they're saying because it's an outside perspective. Maybe everyone else thinks of me like that. You began to take their affirmation and their truth as yours. You began to reaffirm yourself with this belief. I'm not good enough, I'm not pretty enough, and therefore you've created this reality by consistent affirmation of this belief. In other words, if you turn it around, it'll take time, because it took time to create the bad belief. It'll take time to change your belief to something more positive, that you are good enough, and the only person that needs to believe that is yourself. If you feel like you're good enough, you're going to live a life where you go after what you want, you do the things you want to do. But if you really don't believe that, you won't, because nobody else is gonna live the life for you. So if somebody looks at you and says you're just not good enough, you're not pretty enough, and you don't believe that, it doesn't hurt you. But if you believe that, it hurts you. It might be a little bit hard to comprehend if you've never thought of it like this, but bear with me, because affirmations are very, very life-changing. And if you do it correctly, your life will completely change. I certainly believe this because I've gone through this myself. I didn't used to have a lot of self-worth and self-esteem and self-belief about anything. I used to think that I shouldn't even try something, because what if I tried and fail? And then I do it and then I go back to procrastination for ages. And then I do it and go back to procrastinations for ages. That's something lots of us do. And then I began to realize my belief wasn't there. I couldn't keep going like this. I was lying to myself. This is where it comes into affirmations can be lies. That I actually was good enough but I didn't believe it. Affirmations are only lies when you don't believe it. Feel the feeling of what you're saying. If you really feel the emotions that comes from believing you're good enough and that you are beautiful, you will begin to truly believe it, and then affirmations won't be a lie. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you soon.